guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy. I'm doing kind of like a mini playthrough here, just kind of an example. This is Struggle for the Galactic Empire. I did an unboxing on it the other day, and if you guys have watched the unboxing, you'll know that I was definitely not pleased with the component quality that came with the game. But I've read so much about it, and the majority of the reviews that I've read claim that it's a good game. And if you're looking for something that's solitaire and sci-fi, spaceships and stuff like that, there aren't that many options, especially when it comes to the war game and chit and maneuver type game systems. There's Space Empires 4X, which I also have, that just came in a little bit ago. I got that and the expansion for it, so I'm going to get that down to the table soon. But I've heard good things, and I want to get this down to the table and try it out. So I'm going to take and play through the start of it. The scenario I've got set up is 10 turns, and for what I understand, the turns are rather long, so I doubt I'm going to play through the whole thing, but I want to do a turn or two just so people can see it and they can decide if it's a game for them or not. And I can decide if it's a game for me or not. From what I've read in the rulebook, it sounds like it could be fun. It sounds like something I could actually enjoy, so I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. There's just I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's like finding that old car you always wanted, and it turns out it's a beater. It was in a flood or something like that, and it's got damage to it, but there's a pearl in there somewhere if you can dig it out. I don't know, maybe it's kind of like my brother, ugly as sin, but a nice guy deep down. Don't tell him I said that. A couple things I want to point out that I stumbled across. I'm not going to dig it up, but there are some typos in the rulebook and in the charts themselves. I'll point them out when I see them on the charts when I'm pulling them up. But it's one of those things you're like, really? You guys didn't have spell check? The big thing that I noticed, though, has to do with the counters. And I would have had this down to the table a few hours ago if I didn't, for my own neurotic reasons, have to sit down and clip all the counters, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, I left one unclipped specifically to show you guys. All right, you see how that looks like, just all nasty there, and people who have played board games with the die cut counters will be able to understand that. But this is one of the remainders of the sheet that the counters came off of. I literally had to tear them out of it. Some of them were actually pulling apart. In my unboxing, I had actually compared this to Compass Games counters because it appeared similar. I apologize to Compass Games because theirs were nowhere near this bad. Just to be quite frankly honest about it, they are not good counters. Now, however, they don't look bad once you get them clipped. But something to keep in mind here, this is a old counter sheet from Lock and Load Publishing, all right? One of their games. Here's a counter from it. See how nice, neat, and smooth it is? And you can just pop that right back in there. Hell, you can store the counters in the sheet when you're done with it. Already pre-rounded. I mean, this grade A counters. I almost don't want to throw these away because even the sheet they come in is so nice, And to have these be so poor that I was unwilling to play with them until I actually clipped them, it's a little disappointing. You can see how much cleaner it is after you've clipped it. Very usable at that point. Once you have them clipped, they're fine, perfectly usable at that point. It's just another level of hassle you have to go to actually play the game. It's something I want you guys to be aware of before you invest into it. And it kind of disappoints me because the company that made this game has a lot of popular games. They're the people behind the D-Day series, like D-Day at Omaha Beach and Tarawa and Peleliu, which are very popular games, very popular solitaire war games that people love. I've been looking to get one of those myself, and I haven't yet, but I'm worried if this is going to be the component quality I'm going to get out of it, and I'm literally going to have counters tearing apart or having to rip them out of the sheet and clip them back together, and I'm not looking forward to that if it is that way. But I just wanted you guys to know about that. I'm not going to keep knocking on it because, like I said, from what I read about the rules and was kind of going over things, it appears there is a gem here. If you can dig through the mess, you will find something that you enjoy. So I'm going to let you guys watch as I kind of work my way through it. This is the first time I'm playing it, first time it's down to the table, the whole nine. So you're going to learn right here with me. Like I said, start of the scenario. Each system, all right, these little blue counters are what's called system units, and it has attack. Okay, top left to top right, bottom left, bottom right is your military strength, your morphogenic strength, which is the ability to convert enemy units into your units. The bottom left is resources, and the bottom right is movement. So systems can't move. They're planets and shit like that. The higher your military strength, the easier it is for you to be able to destroy your enemy. The higher your morphogenic strength, the easier it is to convert the enemy or to have your forces converted to their forces. And for systems, whatever that number is in the bottom left, you add it all together, and that is your income. Let me pan over there real quick so you guys can see that. Right up there is my income. Top right is the resources you start with, which is 10. And that black and red counter is the chaos level, the current chaos level. It starts at 80. In this first turn, it can only go to 95, but it can max out at 100. And below that is the turn track. We are on turn 1, obviously. And sorry about the little glare there. There's the turn phase. Now on this first turn, it says to do 3 chaos phases. And the chaos phases in this is effectively the AI of the game. It generates enemy units and aliens and insurgents and all that type stuff that can happen. And it depends on your current chaos level. What it's saying is you have control over everything now, and chaos pretty much explodes across the galaxy. That's why you're getting hit with a whole bunch right there at the start. After you do all your chaos marker pulls, your little chit pulls, that's when you get into the operation phase, and there's a chart to roll on, which I'll show you guys of what they do. So you'll roll and it'll tell you they're either moving towards the core, or they're expanding their territories, or they're recruiting, or doing things of that nature. And it's going to depend on what type of enemy unit it is. And the neat part about this game is the enemy units are your units. Here's one of my starship, whatever. I think it's ship fleets or whatever the hell they call these things. Focus in for me. You can see it's got a 2 military strength, 0 for morphogenic. It doesn't create any resources, and it has a 2 movement. So as far as movement's concerned, it's just these sectors. Any white outlined area is a sector, and it can move across. I have a set amount of forces that I start with. Since the core is my main area, I put some of my stronger units kind of guarding the core, and the rest I just kind of spread out around, because I know some of these events are going to turn my forces into their forces, so I didn't want to bunch everything up and then lose everything I had in one go. Really, there's too much for me to explain in one go. That's the basic gist, though, is that we're going to go through those chits. There's 24. I'm not going to record the whole thing just for time's sake, because it'll take me too long to do that. I'll record the first handful, just depending on how fast it goes by, and then get into the actual turn structure. I think that's all I need to touch on here real quick. If not, I'll take and figure it out. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. It only comes with 1 die, but you need more than 1 die in the game. You need at least 2. I am a gamer, so I've got extra dice, but it would have been nice for it to come with a couple of 10-sided die. I mean, really, 1 extra die wasn't going to make or break them on it, and it would have made a difference in my opinion. All right, so let's start drawing our markers here and see what they do. We've got a chart, and it's alphabetically listed, and it tells you what all the markers do. And it's got a little picture next to most of them so you can see what it is and what it does. So let's draw one. First one is paranoia. So let's find out what paranoia does. Pull up our chart here. Paranoia. Here we go. Get it in frame there. The player may not conduct any extra P operations this turn. Optional. Additionally, this turn, the player may not purchase any illumination markers. The Galactic Empire receives 2 repression markers for each resource point expended for them instead of 1. Discard this marker at the end of the turn. So this is affecting us the whole turn. I am playing with the optional rules of transhumans and all this other neat hunky stuff. So we'll take and we'll set this here at the top just to remind us that we have an ongoing effect. I want something that's going to take and show. Of course, this is another one-off marker, the Institute. Let's see what the Institute does. Is it under the or I for Institute? Let's take a look here. Okay, here we go. All this here. The Institute. Place the Institute marker in a sector determined at random. If the sector has no system unit, the marker is returned to the Chaos Events pool and a substitute marker is drawn. The Institute has the following effects when in play, starting with the turn after it is placed on the map. Alright, before we get into the rest of that, let's just see if it actually is going to be in play. It's determined at random, and it has to have a sector marker or a system marker. Now, if we look over here on the right side, let me zoom in here, you can see there's a little chart there for how to determine sectors. And this is one of the things I was talking about, where it'd be nice to have the second die included, because you roll 2 dice and they determine what sector on the map, because they're each numbered, that the event happens. So let's take and roll. We'll use their blue one for singles, and we'll use the black one for tens, and we'll see what we get there. Or we'll use the black for the top and the blue for the up and down. All right, 1-1. So 11. It's going to be in sector 8. Okay, so let's back her back out and see where sector 8 is. And it starts at the center at 1, and then it circles around. So that's 7, 6. What the hell is 8? 8. Okay. So it's like 1. Where's 2? Okay, so it goes down through here. 2, 3, 4. Or no, that's 5. That's 5. How are they measuring this? That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're going around counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it goes down to here. 6, 7, 8. Okay. And there is no system marker there, which again is the blue markers representing planets. So it gets put back in the force pool. I haven't really got to do much yet. All right, expedition possible. That is one where you're rolling on a chart, and I think it is optional, so I might hold on that one and do it at a later point. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to hold that one to a later point, and I'll probably do it off camera, because on that one you're rolling on this chart. Let me grab it. Just had it in my hand. Doesn't help that all these charts look the same. Galactic expedition chart, and there's a whole bunch can be done here. Again, you're rolling a couple of die, and this can go on. So I'm going to try to do that off camera. I want to put some units on the board so you guys can see how the AI works, but not much of that is happening yet, strangely enough. All right, alien probe. Let's see what we have happen for Alien Probe. And you guys remember that I am playing this for the absolute very first time. Right now, right along with you guys, learning it with you. Aliens, Aliens the Hive, Aliens Messiah, Alien Probe. There's a lot to do with aliens right over here. Place the probe marker in a sector containing a system symbol determined at random, so we would roll off again on that. During each alien conflict phase of the turn of placement, roll on the alien expedition resolution table, regardless of the presence of Imperial or Chaos units. And then there's modifiers for it. So let's find out where this alien probe goes. You know, as I'm starting to do this is kind of reminding me of Silent Victory in a way, but it's you're controlling a galaxy instead of a submarine. There's a lot of charts involved with it. There's a lot of rolling, and the game happens around you, and you make your choices and kind of see how things play out. Kind of like B-17 as well. All right, so rolling in on it. We got a 63. So we'll look on the chart. 6 down to 3. That is sector 23. Which I'll get used to this thing a little bit. Okay. So right there, our alien probe goes down, and in the alien conflict phase, it will activate and do some goofy stuff, which isn't until phase L, which I won't even have time to film tonight because of how much I have going on with this game. Okay, let's check another one here. Tech trade collapse. So this is probably something bad happening to me. Let's find out. Tech trade collapse. Roll a die. Subtract that result from the current Imperial RP level to a minimum of 0. So this is down here in the bottom, and it's basically I can lose up to 9 resource points. Discard this marker after it is played. So let's see how much I lose. And I lose 5. So I'm down to 4. No, 5. Started with 10 SKUs in there. You know, there's not a whole lot of aliens popping up on the board, or insurgents, or independent empires. I'm almost through my first stack. Okay, here we go. Now this is where we're going to start getting some enemy ships. Usurper, all right? This is effectively the forces that are trying to take control of the government away from me. There's rebel forces that are just like pirates. There's independent nations that will rise up and try to take control of certain parts of the galaxy. And then there's usurpers who will try to replace me as Palpatine. So let's look up usurper here and see how it affects us. Determine a sector at random. As always, most of the time you're going to be determining a sector at random. If the sector contains no Imperial mobile units, move the marker to the next lowest number sector and check for Imperial mobile units. When it says Imperial mobile units, it means my guys. Okay? So we're doing that. Continue checking sectors until a mobile unit is found. If the randomly selected sector contains any mobile units, or at the first such sector, if the marker is moved, convert them to their chaos side. This means flip them over to the red side instead of the blue. Place the usurper marker on top of the stack. That force follows the standard rolls for usurpers. The marker remains there until they're killed and such. Okay, so let me grab out my usurper marker real quick, wherever that is. Now I gotta find it. Okay, that's leader markers. Units. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause the video to find it. Give me a sec here, guys. Okay, so it isn't a separate marker like I thought it was. This chaos marker actually is the marker you're going to place on it. That's why it's got the 4, because there can be different sets of usurpers and they can fight each other. So let's find out what random section they're going to go to. It's going to be 03, so that is 19. And let's see here, 17, 18, 19. Okay. Oh, damn, they took control of my Nexus. That's not good. Okay, so this fleet gets flipped over and we put the usurper marker on them so we know that they are usurpers. So now my fleet that was mine is now theirs. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure if I lose this Nexus immediately or not. And the system still is my system. The usurpers have to try to take the system out. If they have units that can morphogenic, which is the take control, they'll take control of the system. Otherwise, they'll just destroy it, and you have to take and recolonize it to get it back. So let's draw us another one here. Transhumans, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do yet because I don't have any of the markers, the elimination markers needed for it. Transhumans appear here at the top. Use this only if playing with the optional we are. Determine a sector at random and then roll a die. If the result is odd, place 1 transhuman unit Imperial side in that sector. If the result is even, place 1 transhuman rebel side. Not cool. So it's going to pop up regardless. Should the transhuman unit be placed in a sector including other chaos forces, it is added to the chaos force leftmost on the chaos operations table. Okay, so many things to keep track of. Let's start with determining where he's going to be located at. All right, 52. That is going to be sector 16, which is right here where nothing is. And we get to roll a die, and we're wanting the die roll to be odd to be us. Otherwise, it's going to be a high-powered unit that is against us. So let's hope for odd number. 5. It is us. All right, so that means we actually got one of the most powerful units on the board. And I'll show you guys this. See how at the top it says VV and the bottom right has the infinity symbol? That is because they can move infinite spaces. I don't know, I guess they explained it, transhumans are like, you know, the step above. They're I don't know, they're Iron Man and Captain America and Spider-Man. They're humans with special abilities. The reason it says VV though is because their abilities vary. The higher the chaos level, the stronger the bad transhumans are and the weaker mine are. The lower the chaos level, the stronger my guys get and the weaker theirs get. So it's an interesting little mechanic on that, but it is something you kind of have to watch. And it does not look like they have that little chart here on the map, so you have to look that up in the rule book. That's unfortunate. That should be here, but it'll be on one of these little charts. All right, let's draw our last one from this stack. Imperial Leader, what is that? Arises. Okay, not bad. I get a leader unit. Not a whole lot bad has happened to me from these chaos markers. I expected a whole lot worse. All right, right here, Imperial Leader arises. The player randomly picks a leader from the pool and places it on any Imperial mobile unit. He receives that leader for no cost. Discard this marker. Okay, so we'll set that one out of the way. And leaders have different values. That's why they're telling you to pick at random. So let me draw one for my little counter tray here. And what do you know? A 1, the weakest leader. But at least I got one. I will set it with my units at the core, because there are some special things that you can do at the core if you have a leader there. So it behooves me to get one there as quickly as possible. Let's see how long this video is going. I'm at 5 minutes now and probably 20 minutes on the other one. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. You've seen how the chaos markers are done. I'll do the rest of them off camera, since the first turn starts off with so many of those chaos markers. What I have done up until this point, though, is the standard amount of chaos markers you would have drawn in a normal turn. For example, on your chaos level, if it was 1 to 10, you're only going to draw 1. 11 to 20 is 2. It looks like for every 10 on your chaos level, you're drawing an extra marker. That's why when I'm 71 to 80, I've got an 80 chaos level right now. I'm drawing 8 of them. So that's simple enough to keep track of. So on a normal turn, you would have stopped at that point. Like I said, this first turn is supposed to have a lot more chaos going on with it. And at this point, you would proceed with the sequence of play, which again is down here in the bottom left. If my light isn't, oh, wrong light, blacking it out right there, you can see the sequence of play is listed out there, which you really do need to play this game, because there's a whole lot to it. Like I said, there's only 10 turns, but there is a buttload of phases, and you're doing that for each turn. So you're moving all the bad guy units, and then you're moving all the different types of bad guy units and attacking with them. And I think one of the things that actually suggested in the rule book, and if it didn't, this is how I'm going to do it, is pretty much start from the inside and work your way out to kind of keep track of where you're at, since there are so many different factions and your own units also to keep track of, instead of trying to work your way over, because you'll get yourself lost and confused. But all right, I'm going to stop it here. I will say, from the little bit that I've played so far, I do think there's a good game in here. I think there is something that can be enjoyed by solitaire wargamers. If you like games like Silent Victory, The Hunters, B-17, Space Empires 4X, if you like games like that, this one could be for you. Like I said, though, you have to kind of overlook a few little nasty tidbits that I think Decision Games could have done better on. I'd like to get my hands on D-Day at Omaha Beach and see what the component quality is on that one, because I've heard so many good things on it, especially with, I think the second edition comes with a mounted map now, that why would they put all that effort into that product and not this one, when you've got a viable product here? It's a good game. People will enjoy it. You know, beef it up a little bit. Okay, but anyway, I'm done ranting. Like I said, so far I enjoy it. If you like space games, check it out. It might be something for you, but I would suggest trying to find it on sale. I will continue playing through the game. It's just late at this point, and the video is already long and I'm droning. But I will finish out at least the first turn and let you guys see how the whole sequence is played out, just so you can get a better idea if it's for you. But it's probably going to take me an hour plus worth of filming just to get the whole first turn done. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video.